Space, the final frontier, was just a little bit of a dangerous frontier in the late 24th century. From Cardassian border wars, Romulans at it again, Klingon civil wars, Borg incursions, and the Dominion from the Gamma Quadrant coming to wreck things up, it isn't a surprise that someone at Starfleet had the brilliant idea to make some more tactical-focused ships. Because let's be honest, there are only so many times you can fling a Miranda-class at an enemy fleet and hope for the best. At least we didn't start flinging Oberths. We've been looking at Starfleet's warships lately. As you can probably tell, one of the more iconic of these new ships in Starfleet we haven't dedicated a solo video to yet is the so-called Anti-Borg ship, the other one, the Akira-class.
Leave me alone!
Yes, as one of you magnificent commenters put it, we've really been doing sort of a holy trinity of anti-Borg ships lately. So, in the name of the Steamrunner, the Akira, and the Holy Defiant, sit back and have some Romulan ale on the house as we dive into this most interesting ship in Starfleet's arsenal, the Akira-class. Let's go. Welcome to Trek Central, lords, ladies, and sovereigns. I am your host, Lieutenant Commander Adam, and before we warp into the main video here, if you want to keep up to date with all the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure you hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central, and you can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. And don't forget, we need your suggestions for the next Star Trek Starship Explained video too, so get commenting. Engage! The Akira-class starship was a class of Federation ship that was in service within Starfleet by the early 2370s. One of the construction yards where these ships were built was Utopia Planitia, though having one dedicated shipyard is never a good thing, so other shipyards also played a role. One of these other fleet yards was the Advanced Starship Design Bureau Integration Facility at the Antares Fleet Yards in orbit of Antares 4. These fleet yards were also where the experimental Prometheus class was born. The Akira class was part of an effort within Starfleet at the time to deal with more threats, such as the encroaching Dominion and Borg incursions that we worried about earlier on. The Borg had only sent solitary vessels against the United Federation of Planets and had only narrowly won. I'm sure some people in the Federation were accounting for maybe the Borg sending more than one ship? Why didn't they? Technically in Picard they sent a whole fleet, but it wasn't theirs, so it doesn't really count. I'm getting distracted. The Akira-class was a heavy cruiser, by definition, crewed with 500 personnel, with an evacuation limit of another 4,500, intended to be a carrier of sorts with its large underside shuttle bays and 3 doors to launch from the fore of the ship and a single large bay door at the aft for approaching craft. They would be largely protected from most angles by the rest of the ship's superstructure should they be in a combat situation. The Akira was 464.43 meters in length, with a height of only 87.43 meters and a beam of 316.67. Design-wise, it was very interesting indeed. The vessel had basically just a saucer primary hull with catamaran-style pylons. These pylons were connected to a large weapon pod at the rear and somewhat underslung warp nacelles. The bridge was better protected by the pylons from the side and the weapon pod from the rear, making it mainly targetable from above or front. Assuming you could even see it with all the kaboom lights that would be blinding you on approach. Yes. The navigational deflector was nestled into the underside of the saucer, again with protection in mind, and it is not on show from anywhere but head-on. A multitude of tactical systems were also incorporated into the Akira class, which included a phaser strip that covers the majority of the circumference of the dorsal saucer, and 2 more on the ventral, offering a wide range of coverage. But its most prominent feature is the amount of torpedo launchers on the port and starboard of the ventral hull, at least 1 forward of the deflector, and of course, several in the aft weapons pod. The torpedo launchers in the weapons pod seemingly rotated as well, allowing for essentially continuous fire of torpedoes. The ship would remain in service well into the 25th century, with the only class-wide refit we know happening around the year 2401. Its computer system being overhauled, adding the Fleet Formation Mode system, a system which allowed for more automated coordination with ships within a fleet. And you know how that goes. Unbeknownst to Starfleet, it was actually a trap orchestrated by a faction of rogue changelings who teamed up with the Borg Queen to take over the entire First Fleet of Starfleet. Starfleet was embroiled in numerous battles and conflicts throughout the 2370s, from Borg incursions to the Dominion War, and just like the Steamrunner, the Akira-class, with its tactical focus, served it well during this period. It became a common sight in fleet deployments, appearing in numerous engagements, including against the Borg at the Battle of Sector 001 in 2373, and in the Dominion War, where several vessels of the class were assigned to Starfleet's Second Fleet, which participated in Operation Return in 2374, the Second Battle of Chintoka, and the Battle of Cardassia in 2375. Admiral Alonzo Freeman, husband to Captain Carol Freeman of the USS Cerritos, may also have been captain of an Akira-class starship, as he kept a model of one in his ready room on Douglas Station in 2381. In 2384, multiple Akira-class starships intercepted the USS Protostar, which had been hacked by an artificial Vau-Nakat weapon called the Construct, with its purpose being to infect all Starfleet ships and cause them to destroy each other and the Federation as a result. There were at least 8 Akira classes in this fleet to intercept the Protostar, including the iconic USS Thunderchild, which had been present during the Borg Cube battle at the Battle of Sector 001 11 years prior in 2373. However, many of these ships survived this battle is unknown, though we do know the Thunderchild itself would. The Thunderchild would also be present along with 2 other Akira-class starships, the USS Helios and the USS Ribena. Yes, the USS Ribena. That'll do. It's just one that has a particularly large amount of juice on board. Anyway, the Thunderchild, the Helios, and the Ribena joined an armada opposing an unknown Borg vessel that had appeared from a singularity and disabled another Akira-class starship, the USS Avalon. The Borg Queen, sent to negotiate with this armada, took control of their vessels, and though originally the fleet was destroyed by a self-destruct order by Admiral Jean-Luc Picard, through some temporal hijinks and a temporarily dying Q, this did not come to pass, and the Borg ship and the armada, joined by more ships including some more Akira classes as well, helped to stop a massive energy shunt from opening transwarp conduit from destroying the nearby civilized sector of space. Yay. Later in 2401, the Borg Collective managed to gain control of young Starfleet officers and an entire fleet of Federation starships during Frontier Day, thanks to the culmination of a plan by rogue changelings and the Collective to embed Borg DNA receivers into Starfleet officers' heads through infected transporter systems and the installation of fleet formation mode on Starfleet ships. For a ship that is as well known as the Akira-class, the name was never actually mentioned on screen at all, not even seen in any graphics. Though what is interesting is that the name of Akira, the movie, does appear in an Akutogram console alongside other Japanese animated movies that were favorites of the production staff, such as Urusei Yatsura, Ranma Ribenoichi, and Rhea Gal Force. I'm going to hell with all these pronunciations, aren't I? Just like the other Anti-Borg ships such as the Steamrunner, the Akira was also created by Alex Yeager. He would describe it as his gunship, battlecruiser, aircraft carrier hybrid, saying, "I really got into it with this one, with the whole idea that the front bay would be the launching bay, and then to return they'd come into the back, because they'd be protected by the rest of the ship." Though the most famous ship of the Akira-class would be the Thunderchild, named for the vessel from War of the Worlds, other ships would be named in case they were needed for first contact. These would be the USS Rabin. No, sorry, I couldn't resist one last joke. I know how to pronounce it. It was named after the former Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, who pushed forward with the Israeli-Palestinian peace before being assassinated. And that ship was designated Naval Construction Contract 63293. And there was also the USS Spectre, as NCC 65549. These 2 other ships would not appear in First Contact, but rather on TV in series. The Spectre would appear in the Voyager episode Message in a Bottle as part of the small fleet sent to intercept the Prometheus. the USS Rabin, would feature in Star Trek Picard's second and third seasons, being present during the Singularity Crisis in early 2401 and the Battle of Earth Space Dock in April 2401. But that is about it for the Akira-class from the Star Trek universe. Is this your favorite out of the more tactically inclined starships of the fleet? It ranks highly for me, I'll tell you that much. But let us know in the comments below. If you want to keep up to date with all the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. But for now, I've been Lieutenant Commander Adam. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'm really thirsty now. Can we go for some ID?
Leave me alone! Ah!